Should you lose weight to perform better?
Or should you add power?
Obviously the answer is both, but if you're well off your FTP and well off your ideal weight, which should you spend your time and energy improving? A year ago, right around here on the south of Spain, Ollie and Alex did an interesting test where they added 1 kg to a ride up a long climb to see how much it added. Then Ollie went to a different climb in Italy and added 5 watts to see how much that gained him on the time.
Well, the GCN boys concluded that 1 kilo didn't slow them down as much as you might think. In fact, the additional 5 watts to the overall power output more than overcame that additional weight for pretty much everyone, right up through to pros. So basically to someone who's pretty skinny on the whole and can have an FTP of up to 400 watts. So not a problem that many of us will face.
No, most of us are not going to ever have to worry about that. So if 5 watts makes more difference than losing 1 kg, that's a pretty relevant conclusion, because triathletes and cyclists are guilty of spending thousands of dollars to get a new bike that saves 1 kg. But is it money well spent? Let's start the test. So we could add a kg to each rep and see how much our time comes down, or we could add 5 watts to each rep and see how much our time goes up. But really, the GCN boys have already done that. So we're going to take it a step further. We're going to add a kg to our weight each rep and add 5 watts to each rep. Now, if the kg costs us more than 5 watts, we should see our times going up each time we go up. But if 5 watts saves us more time than a kg costs us, then we should see our times coming down. We're getting faster each lap. Let's see how it goes. It's also worth pointing out that both of us are adding the same 1 kg and the same 5 watts. That is a bigger addition to a lighter Heather than it is to a heavier James. I'm adding 1.8 to 1.6% to my power and 1.1 to 1% to my weight, whereas Heather is adding 2.5 to 2.2% to her power and 1.3 to 1.2% to her weight. So we should see more difference as Heather goes on than we do for James.
Well, the joy we have knowing it's only going to get harder.
All right, baseline done. Now it's time to add a kg. We couldn't find kg weight, so we got kg of rice. What do you think's heavier, green or blue?
I'll go for the green, it looks lighter.
Green looks lighter,
smaller,
yeah. 1 kg bag of green is lighter than 1 kg bag of blue. Right, in the pocket that goes. Add in 5 watts, and we go again.
I probably should address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the bump in the room. So it's kind of ironic that we are adding weight, because I am pregnant, if you didn't know, and I think when I last weighed myself, I'm about 9 kilos heavier than my normal fit weight, so I'm kind of starting at a deficit here. I'm going to see if I can add another 6, but this is quite an interesting experiment, and it'd be nice to know, maybe I should come back and do it when I'm not pregnant and see how much easier the hill is.
The hill we have chosen is 2.2 kilometers long and climbs 174 meters, so an average gradient of nearly 8%. Around a 10-minute climb for me, and closer to 15 minutes long for Heather. We're controlling as many factors as we can today, keeping the power constant, etc. But one thing we can't control, unfortunately, is the wind. It's a bit gusty today. Can't enjoy the view either because you have to watch your power meter so closely. Oi! Okay, that's 2 done. Time for number 3, which means 2 kgs of rice. Obviously there's no fit in my pocket now, so time to put a bag on my back.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can still get them in my pockets for the time being, because I know James has gone for the bag, but I just feel like I'd be a bit more comfortable. All right, this is hill rep number 3. Bit more power. Here we go.
Another one in the bag. Onwards. kg number 4. Feeling weighty now.
All right, we're going again. James is actually 1 run ahead of me, so if he looks a bit slower, he's carrying 1 extra kilo. Here we go,
Same
James.
speed every time.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
See you at the top.
Oh, legs are getting a bit shaky now.
3 kilos. Time to add another one. Apparently, 4 kilos is about the weight of a newborn baby. I mean, not that you'd put a newborn baby on your back in a rucksack, but it's pretty heavy, to be honest. I think that's me tapping out 5 runs up there, and I'm intrigued to go and see the numbers.
All right, that's all of them done, but I'm going to do one more. And for this, I had to wait for Heather because I need her rice. So I'm loading up all my rice that I've used, plus an extra one. So that's 1, 2, 10 kgs and add 50 watts and see.
That's your hand luggage limit there.
Yeah. I mean, people get up these hills when they weigh 10 kgs more than me, so it must be possible. All right, last one. Woo! Shaky legs. Spin down, go get a cup of coffee, I think, and then we'll crunch some numbers. All right, so test's done. We've warmed up and dressed up, and now we're gonna crunch some numbers, and it actually makes for some pretty interesting reading. We don't often nail our tests and actually get conclusive results, but this one's pretty conclusive. So my numbers, I started at 290 watts with no weight and did 10 minutes 49, and then every time I added 5 watts and 1 kg, my time came down. Well, the first time it was like within a few seconds, the first couple within a few seconds, and then my time came down and came down and came down. So I went 10:49, 10:53, 10:48, 10:45, 10:27, 10:15, and then when I took all Heather's weights and added 10 kgs and 50 watts, I was 10:03, almost went under the 10 minutes. So it just kept going down. It's a pretty straight line graph.
Yeah, and my graph was even more perfect than James in actual fact. Not that I'm bragging on that, right? Just I started on 162 with a time of 15:11, and then I pretty much consistently went up by 5 watts by 1 watt on run number 4. But yes, it was 14:47, 14:33, 14:15, and then dipping under for 13:52 on my final one. And I stopped after 5 runs as I was starting to, that was enough for me. But I think it was pretty conclusive.
Yeah,
with
pretty conclusive.
that
That gradient with our particular power, that 5 watts is actually worth more than 1 kg. You were going to go faster if you add 5 watts than if you save a kg. So pretty interesting results there.
Yeah, I've got to stop complaining about these extra kgs that I'm putting on at the moment.
Well, just put on a few extra watts.
Yeah,
and you'll be fine.
that bit's harder. All right, I guess the conclusion here then is if you've still got a lot of scope to better your FTP, that is where you need to concentrate all of that energy until you've trained consistently and strategically and absolutely maxed that out and seeing very marginal gains. Only then is it worth starting to look at trying to reduce that overall system weight.
Yeah, you can spend no money and increase 5 watts and you'll get more gain than if you spend thousands to save 1 kg. Of course, we have to point out that all of this has been tested on a hill climb, and a pretty steep hill at that. And most triathlons don't go straight uphill. But that actually means that these differences will be even bigger in your triathlon, because the added kg will have less an effect on a flat triathlon route than it does on an uphill course that we were doing. And of course, we were also adding dead weight. Whereas if you added weight from, if it's muscular weight or if it's aero tubing or it's whatever it might be, that's actually going to have some gain associated with that added weight, in which case it has even less of an effect. So 5 watts really is conclusively more valuable than saving 1 kg. When it comes to cycling, more power really is more important than less weight.
Okay, well, I think that means good luck with your training and you don't need to worry about spending thousands of dollars. So it's good news, surely.